And now, another episode of the Upper One Podcast from the great city of Anchorage, Alaska, with your hosts, Scott and Eric.
Welcome back to another episode. We have some new developments going on, Eric.
Yeah, we're actually moving forward with what's going on in the country today.
Yep. Our mayor has slowly allowed us to open some businesses.
Which I got to say on my side, I'm a little tentative jumping into this because our numbers are starting to flatten out. But now you start putting everybody back together again. Are they going to shoot up?
Who knows? I know that restaurants, they're only going to allow a certain amount of people capacity-wise, but they're going to be 10 feet apart. And I think that it's only supposed to be immediate family. You can't meet up, right?
I think that's what they said, that if there's people that have been hunkering down together, they can go and dine out together. Yes. They're supposed to be, I believe they said it's going to be 10 feet between tables. So they'll be removing tables from the restaurants. But, you know, if you had 30 tables and you only got 15 now, that's more business than what you did in the last 2 months. So I think it'll be good. People are itching to get out. If the numbers start going up, then I'm sure they'll be quick to shut it down again.
Well, I know there's certain phases how the non-essential businesses are getting reopened. I haven't done my fact checking, but I know the restaurants are getting some of it. We had our weekly virtual beer session with the OMR guys, the Odd Man Rush, and Ross is one of the owners out there. He said that the breweries are not part of these initial phases yet, so they're kind of up in the air how their business is getting reopened. They're still going to be open for carryout. And I would imagine, you know, just maybe to counter what you just said about more business than what they've had, is I'm sure some of these restaurants' businesses have gone up because they've gotten a lot more delivery. But, you know, that's just to see what happens once everything starts opening. But you had something you wanted to talk about with this reopening.
I am really happy that the barber shops are getting ready to reopen because I need a haircut. And what I got a message via Facebook from the barber shop that I go to. They said that their procedures are going to be a little bit different. They don't take appointments as it is, and that they will just allow people to come up, knock on the door, give their name, and if they would like a particular barber to do their hair, then they will say that, and then they'll get a number, and they'll be posting the numbers, and when your number comes up, they'll come and get you, and you get to go in. And
just like the DMV.
No. Well, yeah, the DMV, but do you guys remember back in the day, from what I remember when I was a kid, Baskin-Robbins had remember the little red reel, and you come and pull the little triangular number out?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it that way. I think that somebody is sitting at home making cards with numbers on them. But
that just reminded me of that. That was,
you know, the barbers will be wearing masks and gloves, and the customers, as they come in, will have to have a mask on. How they're going to work that out, I don't know, because, you know, I don't want them cutting the string on my mask as I put it on. But
you have to undo one ear loop. And hold the mask with your hand and hold the ear loop away from your head.
Probably have to pull a hand.
Would that be kind of like the Super Bowl and a wardrobe malfunction? If they cut your string and your mask flies off?
Well, it would only be a malfunction if it fell off of you, but...
Oh.
Yeah, that was the other stipulation, too. My wife being, you know, manager of the pawn shop, she said that this reopening is that as you're a customer coming into whatever business, you're going to be required to have a mask on. And I don't think there's any specific mask. You could make your own homemade bandana mask like you see those videos, but all employees of that business and all customers coming into that business are going to be required to wear a mask.
So that's even going to be for the same businesses that have been open, like AIH. I go into AIH, I don't wear a mask. You know, I walk in, so now I'm going to have to change that procedure?
It could be possible. I know that when I go to the grocery store, that I usually put one in my pocket because I'm just waiting for them to say you can't come in unless you have one.
Or somebody walking through the aisle being a dumbass and saying, "Why ain't you got a mask on?"
I have a mask with me, and I take it just in case they say you have to have a mask to come in. They're not. I don't expect them to provide one. I'll bring one with me, and just go with whatever they determine is the procedure.
What amazes me is I saw on the news last night where the Diamond Mall says that if you don't have one, they'll have one for you. And I'm sitting there thinking, where are they getting them from?
Yeah.
And then what are they going to... Please turn that back in when you're exiting so we can reuse
No,
it.
they're not reusable.
That reminds me,
But I mean, it just...
Although
that
I
can
have
be
heard
a lot of masks.
You can reuse the N95 masks that they have something you can see it on YouTube, I guess. If you put it in your oven for at 200 degrees or something and leave it in there for 15 minutes, it kills all the germs. And it's a low temperature, but it's high enough that it kills
bacteria,
the bacteria and any viruses.
So that brings me...
So I guess that's not the one with the plastic little nozzle on it.
It is.
Well,
that's the N95.
Well, no, they're
no, I'm sorry.
N95s.
The N95 is just a
that
plain
breathe-in port and don't have that breathe-in port.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know exactly what the temperature range is and everything like that, but
I was just thinking with the flame in the oven, it's probably not going to come. It'll catch itself on
well,
fire.
I'm assuming if you have a gas oven,
What kind of oven you got?
then you probably can't do it. But,
Yeah. Which brings me to a story or a thought that I just had. We had our friend Claude over here last week or 10 days ago or so, and he had the medical grade mask that you see the doctors wearing, right? And he was carrying that. And he told us that he just puts it in the microwave and
nukes it.
and nukes it. Well,
that could probably work.
actually, it doesn't. That's where the story is coming from. Is I saw a video online of that's what they said, because same with the sponge. Use a sponge on your dishes and stuff. You want to kill the bacteria, you just throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Well, Claude said he just does that with his thing, and I saw the video. And they did the same thing, and it burnt it all up.
I heard that, and I was like,
You probably need
why
to call
can't
him,
you
Eric.
just get if you can find alcohol, but take alcohol because it kills it, and then spray your mask with the alcohol, and then let it dry. Alcohol evaporates really fast. I heard that people were taking their masks and spraying disinfectant on it, and then letting it sit there, and then they're wearing it again. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to wear a mask
That's
that
been
I just
saturated,
sprayed
yeah.
a bunch of Lysol in.
Yeah.
You don't know. Yeah, you don't know what you're going to inhale. So.
Or
that's-
if you have any kind of reaction from that sitting against your face
Yeah,
and that chemical.
Well,
If it's not been ventilated enough after.
I'm sure that if you read the label, any product that you're going to use for disinfecting or anything like that, you should read the labels before you do anything.
Or the SDS.
That's
There you
exactly
go.
it. Yes, the SDS.
Yeah, so we're back to that. One of our previous episodes, we had what we thought was going to be a new normal, because we're not going to get back to our normal lives after this. This is the start of our new normal. That being said, coming over here today, 55 degrees outside, sunny. There's a slight little breeze, but it's sunny. I've seen more people out today than I have the entire last 6-7 weeks, whatever it's been.
You hearing the motorcycles out there running around?
I've seen motorcycles. I did get a few hours yesterday. I've seen motorcycles out yesterday. That's the first time I've seen them, because only time I've been out really. But everything not getting back to normal is our baseball or little leagues.
Oh, that just kills me.
Youth sports is being affected by this.
Yeah, I tell you, it just kills me that the kids aren't going to get to play baseball this summer. And, as some of you guys know, I spent several years coaching baseball with Scott.
We have.
I said with Scott. And
Tim was there 1 year too.
Yes, and actually Tim did coach with us one year. And
The one thing that by not having Little League and, I guess soccer would be starting about this time of year also, is the kids being able to get outside and interact with other kids their age and being involved in youth sports. I know when I was growing up, I really looked forward to being able to play those sports and seeing a lot of the guys that I didn't see every day at school or normally, but I played the same sports with them. And by them not being able to get out and participate in those things, what are they doing? Are they sitting in their houses playing video games?
That's exactly what they're doing.
They want to get out. They want to go play with the kids in the neighborhood. That's even if, when it's cold out, obviously up here it gets cold and you don't want to let them out too much. But I know Eric's daughter goes out and plays all winter. Just gets dressed up and goes out and does that. But
kids don't care how cold it is.
They don't care, but it's like, are we just, because of this, have a generation of couch potatoes? Because we're not going to let them go out and intermingle with other kids?
That's what a lot of these millennials are. They're couch potatoes. But, that's one of the things that as Eric was saying, we've coached baseball together, and it's been several years. It's been 7 years, I think, because it was 2013. I think it's been that long. I've got to coach a little bit of comp basketball with my son a couple summers ago, but the baseball, even though basketball is my sport, baseball, I've really missed baseball. And I could only imagine that these kids, that go out and they try out every year and they make the all-star teams, and even the teams that win the state championships and get to go on to, the regions and then San Bernardino and get a chance to even play for the Little League World Series. These kids are just going out of their minds.
Well, it's even the kids up at the Legion level. You look at what normally up here we get the collegiate season and we have our summer baseball, with the Anchorage Bucks and the Pilots, and those kids, they're missing out also. And so what's that going to do to Major League Baseball here in a year or two when it's time for drafts, or these kids that this was their senior year and they don't get to finish showing or improving on their skill? They just lost their shot at possibly making it to the MLB.
Like they're a step behind. They're behind the curve. They're on where they should be on their skill set.
Well, you say that, but the universities, they have, they make a lot of money off of their sports programs. And I wouldn't be surprised if the NCAA actually extended some
the eligibility.
Gave an extra year of eligibility. So even if they graduated from school and they're not attending, they could still have the eligibility to go back and play another year if they wanted to.
Well, I agree with you, but I don't see why they wouldn't do that, because they've already paid for this athlete on their scholarships. Yeah. Well, the athletes maybe has gotten their degree already, but they haven't fulfilled their athletic scholarship. So I agree with you. I don't see why they wouldn't do that and allow them to have another.
Well, the only argument I could see to that is what they're looking to bring in for the build in the future. Those guys are going to be taking up spots for people that they've already offered scholarships to.
Exactly. It's probably
so it's going to be touchy, but I think they should at least give them the eligibility rights so that if they don't get drafted, they get one more year.
Major League Baseball has a draft.
We had that kid from up here that got drafted.
Johnny Hamza, drafted by the Padres.
Right. Or the Padres, there it is.
Yep.
But every now and then you have somebody that comes out and they have the skill at that age that they can make the roster of a major league team. And, it's rare.
Yep.
But it happens.
It's really rare up here because of our limited season. They literally only play from May till July. We don't have the 11 months out of the year like the rest of the lower 48 does, where they're playing. Basically, it's year-round. One of the coaches we had that we had played against and coached with, their kids all played together. This kid went down and actually played That's right.
Coach Les.
That's right. It was Les. And he sent his kid down, and he got to play. It's basically like the hockey up here. When they have the chance and they're old enough, they can forego the rest of their senior year or something in high school, and they can go down and start playing juniors.
Yeah.
And so they go and they move out, and they have a host family that they live with, and they play juniors. And this is what Les did with his son. He went down. They
still finished their school.
Yes, they still finished their high school, but I'm just saying
that's cleared up.
It's kind of like a jump up. It's a step before you get to college, and Les did that with his son, where he went to Arizona and he got to play year round, play baseball, and it helps out. But that's one of the limits of, even though we can play 23 hours a day of baseball if we wanted to, but it's our time frame is literally about 10 weeks from sometime in May till right around the first part of July. And
so we get such a limited time, and this year we get no time.
Right now we have no time.
No time.
So these kids are, they're missing out. And still, like I said, I do miss coaching.
I miss it. Well, we've made up for it. We played softball together.
I have made up for it. I picked up basketball when I was in junior high down there. I went back to New Mexico. But,
I can't understand why you ever picked basketball as a sport.
Oh, somebody just finally got off me and went to Scott.
I don't have a comeback for that, but
well, for the people that don't know, Scott is
6'8",
6'8",
but
which makes sense that somebody that tall might choose basketball as their sport.
Well, I didn't know I was going to be 6'8", but as a youth,
you weren't short when you were a youth.
Yeah,
were you?
actually, I was. I really didn't sprout until I was probably between my 8th and 10th grade years. I didn't sprout up. I think I started high school at 6'3".
No,
but
I didn't know.
But when I started junior high back in New Mexico, I started 7th grade. I think I was probably 5'8" or 9". I wasn't real tall back then, so I was one of the taller kids. Basketball was just my thing, and we played in the schoolyards, but back then I didn't have the urge to play baseball as much as I had to play basketball. And so that's all I did in high school. I just played basketball, but I didn't even play any stick sport until I was 19 years old, and that's when I was eligible to play softball. So that's when mine started.
I tried playing basketball when I was young, but I got tired of every time I touched somebody, it was a foul. I was like, what kind of game is this? You can't sit there and give somebody a forearm.
You can't be touchy-feely.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotten worse since then. There's a hack-a-shack rule, but
there's
if you're a superstar, you don't get fouls called against you.
And then I had a problem with putting that little round ball through that hoop way up there too, so that didn't help. I stuck with baseball.
I'm right-handed.
I was good at baseball, and I stuck with baseball.
I'm right-handed, and I could beat Eric every time left-handed. Anyways, but I didn't get to play baseball. Knowing now how I feel about the sport. I mean, I was a fan back then, but I haven't played softball and coached these kids. I really do wish I had played Little League when I was a kid.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a real shame for the kids.
It is. It's sad, and hopefully as these stages come back in, some of this gets to be revamped. All right, guys, you want to try something new?
Let's do it.
Tim, you game?
I'm game.
All right, so saw this guy on Facebook. His name is Tim Brown. Created these pod decks. I ordered some, so I thought we would add some color. So Eric, I'm going to start with you.
Great.
I'm going to fan this deck. I want you to tell me.
I'm a guinea pig?
Yeah, I want you to tell me to stop whenever you want me to stop. Ready?
Stop.
I haven't started.
Oh. Stop.
All right, so this is an interview deck, and what it is just questions, okay? So
I know the answer to that one.
Rhonda knows the answer.
Uh-oh.
Eric, this is the card you chose.
Oh, great.
What's your reoccurring nightmare?
Oh, man.
Wait,
waking up next to
She's
Ron.
sitting here. Do I have to say this in front of her? No, baby, I love you. I do. Oh, my biggest nightmare. I don't know.
A reoccurring nightmare. It doesn't have to be your biggest. What is a reoccurring nightmare you have?
Every time you come home, you're like, where's she at?
Exactly. Like I said, this ain't fair for me to have this question right now while my wife's sitting right in front of me.
I said, how do you come home? And after he told me, he came
Oh.
home saying, where's she at? And I'm like, no.
All
I
right,
put
hey.
this on video. And I said, so how do you come home? And he's like, well, take northern lights down faster. I was like, that's not what you said. And then he's like, where's she at?
So Tim walks in saying, what now?
The question was
All
for
right.
Eric.
Yeah, the
I'm
question
sure
was for Eric. Tim's
I'm
not a
sure
part of
I'm
this
glad
yet.
we got some secondary help in on
You got
this.
some peanut gallery, don't you?
Yes. Man.
All right, so I don't
So-
answer.
So read me the question one more time.
What's your recurring nightmare?
That's what I'm saying. I don't have any nightmares.
You don't have a dream or something that you keep having that you wake up like.
I really don't. I don't know. I mean,
Okay, so
that's a bad question for me because I really don't have
Let's
that.
try
My biggest
again.
fear,
let's
or
try again.
nightmare-
I'll put this one on Tim. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
I chuckle at this one because of our conversation we just had off mic. But this question is, what's left on your bucket list?
Oh, my bucket list.
Have we started?
Nia just asked if we started your bucket list.
There are many things that I would like to do someday.
How about the one that you would like to do the most? Let's put it that way. I mean, because bucket list could be a mile long. The stuff that you would like to do, but how about the
couldn't I-
one?
I ain't gotten a question like that.
Well, okay, so
You've already done your once in a lifetime things.
I would
50 times.
I would say that at the top of my bucket list, I would love to go to Europe and see all of the old world art. Like go to the Louvre in Paris and see all of the paintings that are just hundreds of years old. Go to see the ruins in Italy and the ruins in Greece and those kind of things that you only see pictures of.
Yep.
But know that is where a lot of our beginnings come from, is all of those things like that.
That's pretty good.
Too bad
What,
that
Eric,
Notre Dame
what-
thing just burned down.
What would you say to that?
Bucket list?
Yeah,
Bristol, baby, at night.
Bristol at night.
Bristol at night, baby.
It's a once in a lifetime.
It is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I would say now you'd probably get in a lot easier than you would have 10 years ago. But I think Bristol. I can't say that's on my bucket list, but I haven't even thought about a bucket list yet.
I thought a bucket list was things that are,
You want to do before you kick the bucket.
and they're like the kind of things that are like way out there.
Let's
Beyond
not talk
reach,
about kicking
but-
the bucket.
That they're way out there beyond reach, but that you might someday reach.
Have you met my wife? Going to the Bristol race under the night.
and I don't
that is
think that going
beyond
to
my reach.
I don't think that going to Bristol at night is really on her bucket list, but
Yeah, no. Why do you think I'm
You know,
saying that?
honestly,
that's
you
something
know,
out of my
if-
reach.
if you contacted Bristol Raceway, they would probably let you come and visit them at night right now. You'd be the only one there, but they'd probably let you get in there at night.
If they'd let me drive a car around it, I'd love
For
it.
enough money, they might let you drive your car around it.
I'd love that.
Or raceway experience cars. I don't know if Bristol has that, but that's a little too much damage.
Yeah, they're not doing the Richard Petty School at Bristol.
So, well,
should we choose a card for you, Scott?
Yes.
I think so.
Top or bottom?
My wife Rhonda's going to pick his card and ask him top or bottom. He's a bottom all the way, I heard.
If you were to die tomorrow, what little thing would you regret not doing? If you say go to Bristol at night.
That's my partner. Big pound right there.
What little thing would I regret doing if I were to die
Not
tomorrow?
doing. If you were to die tomorrow, what little thing would you regret not doing?
I don't know that I have one answer for that. I've grown up away from family. You guys know how close I am with all my family, and you know,
That's
you
a
guys,
deep question.
It is. It's a very
That's
deep. It is very deep
question.
You
to
you
ask.
guys know that you guys are all considered my family. You guys know that I love y'all. Maybe I regret not expressing my feelings enough to other family members more than what I do now.
That's a pretty heavy answer.
It is.
Answer that.
It
Yeah,
is.
I think I could say the same thing. That
I think that's one that we all can, if we come down to it and we think
Yeah.
about.
I like I said,
I think we all can agree with that.
I don't talk about my feelings a whole lot, and I think that's one.
Yeah,
We all
making
know
sure
I
that the
discuss
people that are in our family and the people that we love, you know, letting them know that we love them.
Okay, you have
You
to
know,
have a different
we.
answer.
Yep.
you know, I have to jump on what Eric said. That when my brother passed away and his wife asked me to speak at his service, and I thought about it the whole week before the service, and I mean, it weighed really heavy on me of what I was going to say, and then at the end of, I finally came up with something, and after I got done, and I didn't even write it down, that was one thing I told everybody that was listening, that I said, if you love somebody, you should tell them,
Yep.
because you don't know if you'll ever get another
Because
chance.
tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah, that's.
With that being said,
Let's bring
let's
this
go on to
back
something
up.
lighter.
Let's bring this back up, man. You took us.
all right. So now I got two other of the decks out. I've got a what the heck deck, or I've got would you rather deck. So we started with Eric last time. Let's start with Tim. Which one would you like to choose from?
I would like to do what the heck.
All right. What's the most embarrassing or worst thing your parents ever caught you doing?
What is
Dad, you're not on this podcast, so
what's
you
the-
don't count. This is for Tim.
If y'all could see the look on his face right now.
He's in deep thought.
Well, they never caught me doing anything embarrassing.
Yeah, okay. You were proud of it, huh?
The worst thing they ever caught me doing was getting hungover, and I had to ask my dad to pull over so I could vomit out of the car when he was taking me to pick up the car that I had left somewhere.
Well, you were responsible. If you were drunk, you were responsible.
Exactly.
You didn't drive.
But,
Yeah.
but I had to ask him to pull over so I could puke out of his car as I was hungover that morning.
Oh. And what age were you?
20.
What?
Wow.
And you didn't have the vet? You had
No,
the
I-
vet by
I
then.
had the vet when I was. It was before. It was when I had my Nova.
All right, Eric.
All right, I'm going to go the opposite.
You want-
deck
would
after
you
that.
rather?
I don't even want to go
Do you want
there.
Rhonda to pick one for you?
No, don't trust her.
Do you want to pick one?
No, I don't want to pick it either.
All right.
I have bad luck.
Just cut the deck.
Just let my wife pick it. All right, she's giving me the evil eye over there.
Oh, I don't know that. No.
I don't like the sounds of that.
Okay.
I don't like the sounds of that.
We don't talk religion. We don't talk politics. But I'm going to ask this question anyway because this is not a political or religious question.
Jiminy Christmas.
Would you rather have a road trip with Donald Trump or O.J. Simpson?
One, I might be
You'd have to frisk.
bored to death, and the
OJ
other one, I
to
might
make
not
sure he
make it
didn't have
back
a
alive.
I'd check
I gotta
OJ's
say this.
footwear, make sure he wasn't wearing Bruno Mollies or had a pair of leather gloves or a knife.
I would have to say O.J. Simpson because I'm a sports fan, and
You'd probably be
I
picking
love
his brain about.
football, and I would want to be able to reminisce with him about football stories. Just because of the fact that I love sports, I would have to go with OJ just because I love to talk football.
All right, go ahead, Eric. Well, let's start with the would you rather. Go ahead.
Okay, this is kind of funny. Would you rather have your head be too big for your body or your hands that are too small for your size?
Oh, my goodness.
I just think of those Whopper.
I don't have an
commercials.
explanation. I don't have an explanation if I chose either one, but I think I'd probably go with the smaller hands. I don't know. I don't have an explanation why. I just think I would go with the smaller hands.
Shoo, I'm huge, baby.
Go ahead, Tim.
Okay. If humans came with a warning label, what would yours say? Beware of small hands.
That would probably be in the small print.
Fine print.
Mine would probably say does not
Play well with others.
No, I play well with the right people. I think mine would say something along the lines of bring earplugs.
Yeah, yes. There you go.
I've been told that I am a loud talker. I don't think I'm that loud, but I have a booming voice sometimes.
Okay, so your
You get
warning
a little
label should
boisterous.
say, warning, ear protection may be needed in the presence of Scott.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's perfect.
Absolutely.
That was a lot of fun. Tim, I know you're going to be listening. I think we're going to have some fun with these pod decks. Good job. We just had a little bit of fun with them. Eric and Tim, we'll see you next time.